In the span of 2 months, I lost 100 points on my credit score.
Damn.
And your girl was hopeless, like a penny with a hole in it. Actually, you could just say a penny now since they've all been discontinued, right? Right. Anyway, I had pretty much given up because I just knew it was gonna take 2 to 3 years to slowly rebuild my credit after losing 100 points in just a matter of 2 months. Until I learned a few new things from the Frugal Creditnista, Nativa, and ChatGPT. And of course, I had to come tell you about those things, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do in this video. Firstly, if you don't know me, my name is Laria Jones. I am over 40, over 45, almost 50, and I am insistent on living this one and only life to the fullest. On this channel, I share the things I'm trying, what's working, what's not working, in the hopes that it helps you live your one and only life to the fullest as well. And one of the things that helps us live our one and only life to the fullest is financial freedom. And that has been one of my biggest focuses this year. So that's why I'm talking about this thing I learned to regain hope for growing my credit score. So what had happened was I saw that my girl, Tiffany Eliche, which if you don't know who she is, you should. She is a boss in the personal finance field. Like, she's that girl when it comes to personal finance. I mean, she had a show on Netflix. She has 2 books out. She has a community and courses and all of the good things. But on this particular day, she was offering a course hosted by one of her friends named Nativa, who is also known as the Frugal Creditnista. Now, this class was about using ChatGPT and using AI to boost your credit. I honestly signed up for it not expecting to learn anything, to be honest. I've been studying personal finance and credit for years, and I feel like I have the knowledge. What I don't have is the discipline. So I signed up for the class because in my mind, worst case scenario, I immerse myself in an environment that pushes me to be motivated and pushes me to be disciplined. So worst case scenario, I get motivated. Best case scenario, I learn something new, which I did not expect to do, but I signed up. And baby, have I never been more excited about being proven wrong. I was wrong. I absolutely learned something new, and it was game changing for me, especially when it comes to credit and my ability to rebuild my credit in the short term. But let me set the stage for you in case you don't already know how credit scores work. Credit scores are a blend of 5 key components: payment history, credit mix, average age of credit, amount of debt, and amount of new credit. Those are the 5 things that determine your credit score. Most important components of your credit scores is always gonna be the amount of debt and payment history. Those are the heaviest weighted items. Now, in my case, of these 5 things, the only negative thing on my credit score across all 3 bureaus is the amount of debt. The utilization, the amount of money I owe these credit card companies is basically what it boils down to. Here's an actual synopsis across all 3 credit scores. And as you can see, my payment history is very good. My length of credit history is good. All 3 credit bureaus say my credit mix is exceptional, and my amount of new credit is very good. The only thing consistently bad across all 3 credit bureaus is the amount of debt. Okay, back to the class. Now, if you are new to understanding credit and understanding how the credit system works, or this is the first time that you've ever tried to repair your credit or improve your credit score, I highly recommend you check out the Frugal Creditnista and Tiffany the Budgetnista. I'll link both of their information below in the description box. During the class, she gave us a whole lot of resources to load into ChatGPT to facilitate the strategy discussions that we would have with ChatGPT. And then she walked through a few examples of how you can use ChatGPT to improve your credit score. She walked through a whole lot of stuff that included whether or not you should actually be bothered with your collections. She talked about how late payments may or may not impact you. She even talked about how disputing too many things can impact you. I'm not gonna go into detail about those. I think you should learn them from her directly. Or here's the one thing that I learned in this class and using ChatGPT with her resources that I did not know. You might have known this, but I did not. Here's the situation that I was in. I would notice that I could pay my card balance down by $2,000 and not have any impact to my credit score. But I would also notice that one of my card balances could increase by like $50 and I would actually lose points on my credit score. So wait a minute. I paid down $2,000 and y'all don't even care. Like nothing happens, zero reaction, nothing happens, but my balance goes up by 50 bucks and I lose 5 points. Like what and why? That made no sense to me. And honestly, it was driving me nuts. Now, I always knew that there was a 30% rule of thumb. You want to keep your credit cards under 30%. What I did not know is that there are utilization risk tiers that impact your credit score. I had no idea. Okay, so based on this, ChatGPT gave me these risk tiers. So based on these tiers, Gabby Patrice Thomas basically told me that once my balance went down to 90%, on my credit cards, I would see a small little increase. And then once it went down 70%, I would see another small increase, and so on and so forth as it goes through these tiers. Now, here's a real life example of how this happened very recently. I paid down $2,537 on one of my cards and got 0 points. $2,500, y'all, come on. They were unimpressed, you hear me? Unimpressed. Then I had one credit card go up by $88. I lost 5 points with one credit bureau, 7 points with another credit bureau, and 2 points with the third credit bureau. Over $88, y'all. Mind you, they didn't care about that $2,500. Like that got me no points. Nothing, we don't care. But 88 bucks? I'm losing points over 88 bucks? Here's why. That $2,500 payment took my utilization down to 72%. It didn't take it down under 70%. If it had, I would have seen a bump. That $88 took my utilization on that particular card from 68% to just over 70%. So it bumped me up above one of the risk tiers, and as a result, I lost points. Learning this honestly blew my mind because I felt so much more informed and so much better about the seemingly random things that was happening to my credit score. Paying down thousands of dollars thinking I was gonna get a score bump and nothing happened, and then seeing my balance increase by a tiny amount and then losing points. It just made absolutely no sense to me. So learning this from ChatGPT and from that class actually kind of parted the clouds and made it make so much more sense for me. It also reinstated my hope. I no longer felt like it was definitely gonna take 2 to 3 years to fix this. Truly, really and truly, if I can fix my utilization, then I can fix my score. So that said, after learning this, of course, me and Gabby Patrice Thomas went back to the drawing board to see if we could slightly tweak my debt payoff strategy. So in my video about me paying off debt for the year, I talked about the fact that I had 2 main priorities. One of those was paying off the highest debt first. That is called the avalanche method. And the reason for that is I wanted to get rid of the highest cost debt. I wanted to reduce the amount of money I was spending paying interest. The second thing that I actually mentioned this in my video about how me and Gabby Patrice Thomas, also known as ChatGPT, built out my debt payoff strategy. I mentioned that my second priority was to have the biggest impact on my credit score. So based on that, Gabby and I came up with what I'm gonna call a step down avalanche approach. Well, instead of fully paying off the highest interest debt, we ranked all of my debts, highest cost to lowest cost, and focused on getting each to the next tier. Basically, starting at getting all of the cards to under 90% utilization, starting with the highest cost debt. We're gonna take that one down to under 90%. The next one, we're gonna take it down to under 90%. The next one, we're gonna take it down to under 90%, if that makes sense. And then once we do that, we go back to the top and bring all of the debts down under 70%. And then under 50%, and then under 30%, and then it's all paid off. And this approach actually touches both of my parameters, prioritizing the highest cost debt while also prioritizing having the biggest impact on my credit score. Now, even if I decide not to follow this step down avalanche method, I'm really glad that I just know that these tiers exist and that this is how my credit score is working. I have to know, did you know this already? If you did, I want you to go out here and put your dukes up. Like, we finna throw hands, because why you ain't tell me? Anyway, not only do I absolutely love learning new things, this actually truly demystified the behavior that I was seeing with my credit score over the last several years. I was truly on an emotional roller coaster for the last several years. If you could see the text messages between me and my friends, I'd be like, I don't know what my credit score is doing. Like, I don't know why it hasn't moved for this, but it's moving for that. It truly demystified it for me. So I'm glad I know it. Even if you forgot to tell me, I'm glad I found out eventually. And of course, I ran here to make sure that other people knew because I care. I'm like Beyonce, I care. Y'all don't want me to do that. But the biggest win here for me is that my hope is restored. My excitement and hope is restored that my credit score can be redeemed in the short term. I will report back in a few months and let you know how it's been going, what I decided to do, if I decided to do the step down avalanche approach and how it worked out. But in the meantime, let me know in the comments if you knew this already or if you were just finding this out from this video. I know a lot of us are trying to get out of debt and really be good stewards of our money in 2026. If your goal is also to improve and repair your credit, I strongly suggest checking out both the Frugal Creditnista and my girl Tiffany Aliche, the Budgetnista. Again, I will put links to both of their programs, both of their websites in the description box. Okay, so if this was helpful for you at all, if you were enlightened like I was, please hit the like button so that other people know that it's helpful information as well. And I sound like a 17-year-old boy over here. Excuse me. Also, go ahead and subscribe and turn on alerts so you get notified the next time I post a video. And thanks for hanging out. I will see you in the next one.